Welcome to the deep dive. We pull the key insights from stacks of sources, basically giving you the shortcut to being genuinely well-informed.
That's the goal.
So today, we're kind of cutting through all the TV drama, and we're diving deep into the real world of forensic science. Precise, often invisible stuff.
Exactly.
Our mission is to unpack how physical evidence isn't just like one piece of the puzzle.
No, it's much more.
It's really the foundation for objective, reliable criminal investigations. We've got insights from foundational texts all the way to new legal analysis.
Right, to really understand the science and its huge impact.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's really transformative about forensic science is that it acts as this objective backbone for the whole criminal justice system.
Objective being the key word there.
Absolutely. It's a big step away from systems that relied, sometimes maybe too much, on just testimony, which can be flawed, right?
For sure.
And to show this big shift, we're going to look at something major happening in India, the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Adhiniyam, the BNSS 2023. It's essentially hardwiring forensic science into their legal process.
Wow. Okay. So where does this whole journey to objective truth actually begin? Often it's even before the science, right?
That's right.
There's that initial human question, cui bono?
Who benefits?
Yeah, who benefits? It's that first logical step, isn't it? Helps investigators think about motives, narrow down suspects.
Precisely. Cui bono gives you that crucial logical frame to start forming suspicions.
Right.
But then forensic science comes in, and its job isn't to ask who benefits, but more like, what does the evidence say about that benefit? Does it back it up, or does it rule it out?
Ah, I see. So it tests a theory.
Exactly. So say there's a clear financial motive pointing at someone. Forensic analysis of the crime scene might find, physical links, fingerprints, DNA, whatever, that confirms they were there.
Or not.
Or, just as importantly, it finds nothing to link them. It can rule them out. It moves you from just guessing or logical deduction to actual scientific fact.
Okay, so once you have those initial ideas, maybe some suspects, where does the physical evidence hunt really start?
It has to start at the scene of crime. That's the ground zero.
The absolute starting point.
Absolutely. It's the most critical and honestly the most delicate part of the whole process. It's the primary source for physical evidence.
Delicate how?
Well, the integrity of that scene is just paramount. Think of it like an incredibly fragile historical record.
Okay.
It's so easily corrupted. The very first officer there, their main job immediately is to secure that area, lock it down.
To stop contamination?
Exactly, because contamination can destroy evidence, just wipe it out or make it unusable in court. Then the forensic team comes in.
And they do their thing.
Painstakingly. It's systematic searching, meticulous documentation, careful collection. Every single step matters. One tiny oversight there.
Big consequences down the line.
Huge! It can totally change the outcome of a case.
Okay, so the scene is secure. Now, what are the experts actually looking for? We hear about discovery of traces of physical evidence. Physical evidence generally is anything tangible, right? Connects crime, offender, victim, location. But what about the trace evidence? That sounds small.
It is small, often microscopic, sometimes totally invisible to the naked eye, but incredibly powerful.
Like what, specifically?
Oh, all sorts of things. Fibers,
Wow.
maybe from clothes, carpets, car seats. Hairs could be victims, suspects, someone else's entirely.
Okay.
Tiny bits of soil tracked in on shoes or tools. Biological samples, obviously blood, saliva, semen, other fluids.
Right.
And then impressions. Latent fingerprints you need to dust for. Shoe prints, tire marks left in dirt or even dust.
Wow. And collecting that sounds tricky.
It really is. You need specialized tools, absolutely. But also incredible precision to avoid contamination and make sure it's all admissible in court. You can't just scoop it up.
So what's the underlying principle here? Why is this tiny stuff even there, and why is it so valuable? I think I've heard of this. Locard's principle.
Locard's principle of exchange, yes.
Sure.
That's really the bedrock concept for all trace evidence.
Okay, break it down for us.
Simply put, every contact leaves a trace.
Right.
But it's more than just the criminal leaving something behind. That's only half of it. It's a mutual exchange. The person doesn't just leave fingerprints or hair at the scene. They also take something away with them.
Oh, like mud on their shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe the victim's blood on their clothes or fibers from the carpet. They often don't even realize it.
So it works both ways.
Precisely. It creates this two-way trail of evidence, and that's why the search for even the tiniest traces has to be so thorough. Locard's principle justifies that exhaustive search.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So this tiny, often invisible evidence is collected super carefully. What happens next? It doesn't just sit in a bag, right?
No, definitely not. It moves into what we call classification and reference to classified record.
Sounds formal.
It is systematic. It means the evidence gets categorized, logged, and then compared against existing records, huge databases.
Can you give an example? How does that help?
Sure. Take fingerprints. They get classified based on patterns,
Yeah.
loops, arches, whorls. Right. Then they're run through massive digital databases,
Yeah.
like AFIS, the Automated Fingerprint Identification System.
Okay.
It compares the print from the scene against millions of known prints incredibly quickly. Same idea for DNA. Profiles extracted from evidence are cataloged and searched against national DNA databases.
To find matches with known offenders.
Known offenders, yeah. Or sometimes linking crime scenes where the perpetrator is unknown. It's all about efficient cross-referencing. It can suddenly point to a suspect or connect crimes that seemed unrelated before.
So that systemic approach leads into another core function, right? Systematization and classification of physical evidence and comparison with suspected material. How does that directly link, say, a suspect to the crime?
Okay, so this is where we get really specific. Each piece of evidence is meticulously cataloged, documented, and prepped for analysis in the lab.
Right.
Let's use a bloodstain found at the scene as an example.
Okay.
It's identified, a sample is taken carefully, DNA is extracted. Then you get a unique DNA profile from that crime scene sample. Now, you compare that profile with what you call suspected material. Usually that means a reference sample taken directly from a suspect, like a cheek swab or a blood sample.
And you're looking for a match.
Exactly. The goal is to determine, scientifically, if both samples came from the same person. If they match, that's direct scientific proof linking that specific individual to that specific crime scene.
Powerful stuff. But it's not just blood and fingerprints, is it? Forensic science seems to pull from all kinds of scientific fields. What about things like heredity, taxonomy, etc.?
Oh, absolutely. The range of science involved is pretty amazing. DNA analysis itself, that's pure genetics, based on the principle of heredity.
How genetic materials pass down and unique.
Right, unique to everyone except identical twins, but it goes way beyond that. Think about botany, the study of plants.
Plants? How?
Pollen grains, or specific types of leaves found on a body or suspect, can sometimes pinpoint a very specific geographic location, linking someone to a particular park or field, maybe? Or taxonomy, classifying organisms, even entomology, the study of insects.
Bugs. How do bugs help solve crimes?
Believe it or not, they can help estimate the time of death. By analyzing the types of insects found on a body and their life stages, forensic entomologists can give investigators a timeline.
Wow. So it really pulls from everywhere in science.
It really does. It's a truly multifaceted approach.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about a huge real-world impact. This new Indian law you mentioned earlier, the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Adhiniyam, BNSS 2023. How has that changed the role of forensic experts?
This is a massive development, yeah. The BNSS 2023 hasn't just, nudged things along. It has fundamentally formalized and seriously strengthened the role of forensic experts in India's justice system.
How so?
Well, crucially, it now makes it compulsory that a forensic expert or team must visit the crime scene for serious cases.
Must visit, not just optional.
Not optional anymore for certain offenses. Their duty is laid out: collect, preserve, analyze evidence. Physical, biological, digital now, too. But here's the really revolutionary part, legally speaking. The expert's report. It's now considered substantive evidence in court.
Substantive evidence. What does that mean practically?
Previously, forensic reports were often treated more like expert opinions. The expert usually had to testify in person, explain it all, defend it under cross-examination.
Right.
Now, as substantive evidence, the report itself carries significant weight, almost like direct testimony. It doesn't mean the expert won't testify, but the report itself is a stronger piece of evidence from the get-go. It should streamline things and give more inherent weight to the science.
That sounds like a big shift. And it leads to maybe the biggest change of all. This mandatory forensic investigation in offenses punishable with 7 years or more imprisonment. You called it a game changer.
It absolutely is. This is a genuine paradigm shift. Forensic science moves from being, a tool investigators could use to something they must use for all serious crimes in India.
All serious crimes.
Yeah.
Defined as?
Defined by the potential punishment, anything carrying 7 years or more imprisonment. For every single one of those cases, the law now demands a forensic expert as part of the investigation team. They have to visit the scene for evidence collection.
Wow. What's the intended effect of that?
The big idea is to reduce the system's reliance on things like eyewitness testimony, which we know can be unreliable, or confessions, which can sometimes be coerced.
Right. Less he said, she said.
Exactly. More objective physical proof. It's a systemic push towards outcomes based on solid evidence, which should hopefully lead to fairer justice.
That's a massive undertaking, though.
Oh, undoubtedly. Implementing this effectively will need huge investment, more labs, more equipment, and critically, many more trained forensic experts across the country. It's a challenge, but the intent is clear.
So wrapping things up a bit.
In essence, I think what we've seen is that forensic science is so much more than cool gadgets on TV. It's this really systematic, multidisciplinary process.
Right.
It gives investigators an objective path to find the truth, from those first logical questions, qui bono, all the way down to analyzing microscopic traces.
And as we just discussed, laws like India's BNSS 2023 are really cementing that role, aren't they? Making forensics not just important, but legally required for serious cases.
Yeah, it formalizes what science has been offering for decades. This deep integration of science into the justice system, it really holds huge promise, I think, for more precise, fair, and evidence-based outcomes in court. And that's ultimately better for everyone, ensuring justice is served accurately.
Definitely. So, given how deeply forensic science is embedding itself into justice, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other scientific fields out there might become totally indispensable for solving society's big, complex challenges in the future? Something for you to think about as you look at the world around you.